My name is Chris McBee, and I help people get more of what they want from their business. And I do that by helping them implement a complete and proven system using simple, practical tools to achieve three things we call vision, traction, and healthy. And I'm here today with Lisa Genovese, president of BottomLine. So, Lisa, let's jump right into it. My first question is give me your 30-second elevator pitch. What do you do for your clients or customers? How do you provide value, or how do you solve their problems?
Sure. Thanks for having me, Chris. I would say, in short, we do research-driven marketing for growth-driven brands. So we're heavily focused in leveraging market research data to help clients develop a good strategy. And from that strategy, of course, then can help them implement and really help them drive success and the success that, is meaningful to them as an organization.
Okay. And so I'm curious, what is a typical trigger event? So what would cause a client or customer to want to engage with you and your services?
There's all sorts, but I'd say there's a couple that are more common than others. Often it'll be a situation where a competitor is maybe eating their lunch and they're coming to us and saying, okay, we really need some help differentiating ourselves from our competition. The other one is companies that have kind of become stagnant in their growth. So maybe they've, been at the same revenue for the last, 3 or 4 years, and they haven't really been able to overcome that hurdle. And then the other big one is geographical expansion. I'd say about 50% of our portfolio are companies that come to us saying, okay, we're based here in Western Canada and we want to branch into the US, or we want to move into Europe, but we're really not sure how to do that. And so market research can inform your strategy there too.
So once they've decided there's that market research need, what makes you unique? So why would they look to you rather than another alternative they might have?
It's a good question. And I would say, although we believe in formal market research to inform your strategic planning, I don't believe that research needs to be particularly complex or difficult or expensive. Without naming names, I'm sure we all listening to this know of who the big boys are in the formal research space. And I would say for a medium-sized business, a lot of times it's overkill. It also can feel really scary when a research firm starts pulling out things like focus groups and customer interviews and things like that. So I believe in really doing the right amount of research that is designed to help the client solve their one particular challenge. So the difference between a formal research firm and kind of how we work is that we're that hybrid model between the implementation world and the research world. So most research firms will say, okay, client X, your problem is this, and we're going to run this study, and then they just deliver, here's your answer. But what they don't do is help the client take that research data and go, okay, now that you have your answer, here's how you use that to inform strategy and help you actually document a strategy and then implement it. So we're that middle ground between those two worlds. And I would say that middle ground of understanding both sides is why we've had such success with our clients.
Okay, well, that makes sense. So then once a client has selected you, what does an engagement look like?
Great question. Usually we start with what we call a strategic planning session for all of our clients. It's a deep dive into just who they are as a company, as a brand. We look at all 7 Ps of marketing, as well as help them define their current customer journey. And then they receive 2 scorecards, the 7 Ps of marketing, no surprise there, and then also their buyer's journey scorecard. That really takes the guesswork then out of where it is that they need to go next and where they need to focus as an organization. And then off of their strategic planning session, there's typically 2 engagements. Either it's an impact assessment or a digital assessment. Sometimes it's both. The impact assessment is more of a focus into that heavy duty research, whether that be focus groups, interviews, surveys, etc. And then digital assessments is, just as it sounds, more focused on your digital properties like web audits, social audits, content audits, but all in the spirit, again, of leveraging research to drive strategy.
And so my last question is, what's next for you and for BottomLine?
Ooh. This year, as I was saying to you earlier, feeling really positive about this year. I feel like something has kind of changed in the marketplace and people are ready to go back and, work hard and I think bring their businesses back out of this pandemic. And so for us, we're gearing up for a really big year of growth. Though we're only 24 days into January, it's feeling like man, we have covered more ground this month than I think we did in 3 or 6 last year, which is exciting. So I am hopeful for some big change this year.
Excellent. Well, it's been great talking to you. I appreciate you spending the time, and best of luck for 2023.
Thanks for having me, Chris. This was fun.